So everybody, please welcome Rehan Ahmed onto the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can you hear me? Inshallah, honored to be here. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. Thank you, Chris, for inspiring me to do that, because I normally just don't. But I've been working on kind of this mission for about 9 years now. 2016 was when we kind of started on the path of what became Halal Stocks, and didn't have a name back then. But we're very much aligned with investing in what you believe in, but also making a lot of money along the way, inshallah. And so part of that journey of myself, I'm from a tech consulting background of 20 years. I turned my back on the tech world and went and joined Muslim Aid in 2016. And I thought that was my calling. And when I arrived there, we rebuilt the stack and everything else. But what I realized was, a lot of people try and talk about 100% donation policies. We didn't do that in Muslim Aid. But it was definitely something that I wanted to aspire to. And so we looked at a lot of solutions in market. Well, there were none for Muslims at that time, especially in Australia. So I thought, you know what, this is a problem that I think I can tackle. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought I could. And so that then led me to doing a lot of investment research, retooling my own skill set, starting to study Islamic finance for the past 5 years, and obviously the markets for the past 8, to see if we as Muslims, can we actually achieve above market returns, right? And if you're a Sharia compliant investor, there's enough data now to prove that beyond a doubt over the last 10 years, you would have achieved above market returns if you were simply a halal investor in the US markets. And then in 2020, I joined an accelerator. Some of you guys might know Peter Gould. He ran a startup accelerator right in the middle of COVID, right in the middle of lockdown. And that's when Peter told me, well, you're building for the charity sector, but why can't you just help everyone? And he told me about gummies at that point in time. And he told me, that's your target market, right? And mashallah, so that alignment was there. And we launched in June 2020 the pilot program, our first set of investors, following what is a algorithmic methodology of investing. But ultimately what I wanted to do was, how do we revive the lifestyle that the Sahaba radiallahu anhum actually lived? None of them worked 40-hour work weeks. They weren't slaves to the paycheck. But we need to help Muslims get to liberation capital. Because if you can do that, then you have the appetite for the risk that you need to take to build the things like Kestrel, like Launch Good, Pay Good, Silla, mashallah, and all the great startups you see showcasing here. So how do we unlock the Muslims from serving just big tech, mashallah, Intel Soul, she's no longer at Microsoft, but we need to be able to build solutions that do that. And Halal Stocks is part of the infrastructure that I believe that we can help Muslims get there. We can help our charities truly become 100% donation policy, true to that name, and also obviously give Muslims a leg up in the markets. And so this should really say, can we give Muslims an unfair advantage in the markets? And that's really the question that I wanted to solve, and I think we've cracked it. I think we've cracked it. And that's why I'm here today to tell you about what the mission is. And the mission is to empower every Muslim and our like-hearted peers to achieve financial freedom in alignment with our values, without any compromises, none, while receiving superior performance, right? And those two things are very, very hard to do, but they're not impossible. And so 5 pillars of what we have built and are building, inshallah. 1, true accessibility. A lot of the wealth solutions that are available right now are for sophisticated investors. And that leaves out the majority, actually, of gummies in the world. But they're not sophisticated investors. They don't make enough money to do that. So we wanted to make sure that we focused on asset classes that were accessible to as many of those people as possible. And the public markets, gold, even Bitcoin, which you'll hear more about, are part of those strategies. True alignment. What does true alignment mean? So when October 2023 happened, a lot of the companies that most people's pensions are invested in went mask off completely. They were unashamedly Zionist, openly, justifying the actions of the apartheid state with no shame. It was a cool thing to do for them because it would open up contracts and so on. Unfortunately, all the halal investing solutions at the time were passive index based, which means there's no screens for that kind of activity. So that's something that we make sure that we do, because we're active, not passive. It means we actively choose the companies that we invest in based on the values that the global ummah knows intuitively are things to stay away from and things to actively support. So we're active, not passive. We don't use index funds. We actually invest in every single company and do diligence in that. And doing it in an algorithmic way, because I'm from a computer science background, I bring a fresh set of eyes to the markets. I'm not traditionally finance trained, although I've been studying the markets for 8 years. And that allows us to give you kind of double market returns over the long term, and while making sure that we're doing the hard things. So actually calculating zakat on an investment portfolio is a non-trivial exercise. Calculating purification on investment portfolios, because there's always some amount of purification that needs to be done because of the global banking system, and most companies don't have some banks to bank with. So we purify the interest income that they generate from the bank accounts as well. So trying to make all that very, very easy for the masses is what we're trying to do. So what we've built is an auto investment platform that's empowering Muslims to grow their wealth without compromising two things: the values that we hold, right, and the performance that we deserve and we need, right, as a community. What does that look like in comparison? So we've got, we launched in June 2020. Because we're fully systematic, it means I can back test, and I have. I know exactly how our portfolio performs over the GFC, over the dot-com bust in year 2000, when September 11 happened, when COVID happened, and so on. So that means I can, with a high degree of confidence, know what the risk and return parameters of a strategy like this is, because it's fully systematized. And so that's how it compares to a passive index like Y, which does great, by the way. I think it's a great contribution. Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's investment fund, and the top super fund. So super is, in Australia, our term for your pension pot. Right? So this is how our strategies have performed. Alhamdulillah, we've helped people save for Hajj in almost half the time it would have taken them otherwise. Help people save for their house deposit during our last 5-year pilot. Alhamdulillah, we have non-Muslims using our pilot program as well. Some of the features of what we're building is the fact that it's fully automated, so there's less work for the investor, but we retain full ownership, meaning all the assets are in your name. You have voting rights on these companies if you want to voice your concerns or kick out a director, and you have rights to dividends. So we're not a fund that's intermediating between you and your assets. You get full voting rights, and that's very, very important, because if any of us has heard of like BlackRock or Vanguard, they are the world's biggest providers of index funds, and everyone invests through index funds. What happens is they end up getting voting power on all these companies because they don't pass on voting power, right? And so what we're trying to do is make sure that we re-empower the investor to make sure that you get your voice heard while not doing all the heavy lifting. So that's part of the strategy. This is the team, alhamdulillah. You'll see 4 of us here, flown in from Sydney, mashallah, to sunny London. Thank you for having great weather. Umair is my co-founder. He's like my Abu Bakr. He's been there from day one. Alhamdulillah, believes in the vision, sacrificed everything for it. Ozzy heads up development. He has built apps for multi-billion-dollar funds like IWF, Amani, you see on the stand, she's ex-BCG Digital Ventures. Mohammed Kandil has helped grow Kenny Peel and Islamic Relief in Australia, multiple millions. So as head of marketing, I know he knows how to get money out of Muslims, mashallah. Mufti Faraz Adam, he's in Leicester. He's my teacher. I've been studying Islamic finance for 5 years, but he's also our head Sharia advisor. And so, inshallah, I'm looking forward to meeting him in Leicester soon. Siri is from a banking and finance marketing background, and Ronnie is a business coach, who's our CFO. And then Gould Studio, which is Peter Gould's organization, heads up our brand. And then we've got a whole bunch of amazing advisors as well. I was told by Zahid that I could put in a cheeky plug for our raise. So we're raising, we're pre-seed. It's our first raise, first time we've opened up the cap table to anyone. You know, if you had gotten into some of these names, which are wealth management platforms, at our valuation, then if you're in, as a lot of people crowdfunding suffer right now, you would have already achieved a 9x return. Sarwat, which is leading wealth growth advisor in the Middle East, 18Y, it's actually now at 400 million. So you can increase that number a little bit, but that's the reward for those who have capital and they deploy it early enough and take the risk. Those are kind of multiples that you can activate for yourself and your clients. So if you're an angel investor, happy to have a chat at the moment. Why are we raising? So we're raising for a couple of things. One, we want to unleash our next round of intelligent portfolios. So we've been testing our flagship product strategy, running it for 5 years. Since 2021, we have an intelligent Bitcoin algorithm that we want to deploy, and also a gold market timing algorithm that I've been using on the sidelines, and I really want to productize because the Ummah deserves this. And it's a good time for Bitcoin and gold because of what's happening in the markets today. And our next stops for global expansion are the UK. That's why we're here. Today we're going to actually launch our first offer for UK customers as part of MTF. And next stop, inshallah, based on the data that we've looked at, Saudi Arabia. Okay. Exclusive. If you're in this room or you're here, for the first 50 people, we're giving away a founding membership, means unlimited access to our portfolio for one fixed price, and you never pay any more. You'll get a copy of Peter Gould's book, inshallah, because we were born out of the How to Design program, and you'll get a medal founding member exclusive card as well. Please, if you're interested, please become a founding member. It's the only time we're going to offer this. We're only going to offer this for MTF London. And you know, my wealth management colleagues have said, you're crazy for giving this away for such a little price. But I think Muslims deserve a leg up, and this is our way to do that, inshallah, with your du'as. Please remember us in your du'as and come visit us at the booth. Tomorrow we've got an event, Invest Like a Pro. I'll be teaching everyone for free how to build a portfolio like professional wealth managers using modern portfolio theory. So if you want to come down for that and hear us pitch, 2 o'clock at the Brady Arts Center. Jazakallah khair. Karamakallah. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sorry for going over time.
No worries at all. Thank you so much, Rehan. May Allah make this a means of sadaqah jariyah for you and the team, inshallah.